One player for one team, Player of the Year 22-23. We're predicting it.
Subscribe, 12,000 likes, and straight into the video, Theo, with Arsenal. And you know what? I've gone for Martin Ødegaard, Theo, 23 years old, attacking midfielder. Now, last season, I thought he was much better. Creative, confident, stronger, I thought, than the season before. And he got 11 contributions. Now, I think he can double that. I think he can be a really special player for Arsenal.
Maybe with the addition of Fabio Vieira, he'll have a little bit more time on the ball to create. Maybe he'll bring an extra layer out of his game. But for me, I'm going ballsy here. William Saliba. He's going to partner. Well, first of all, he'll have to break into the first team and prove it again to the Arsenal fans. But I think he will, very early on into the season, and create a partnership, potentially in a back three with Ben White and Gabriel, and become the Player of the Year for Arsenal. But after being the Player of the Season for Marseille, and they finished second convincingly, getting themselves a Champions League spot for next year, I believe in it. We're going to pause production here to speak about my new favourite card.
What even is that thing?
Oh, this. It's just my personalised designed metal card with Revolut. This card is connected to the financial app for all things money. 18 million plus people use it. That's bonkers. Look at that personalised design. The goat on here, of course, being messy. Anyone can personalise your card to make it uniquely yours. Infinite possibilities, including images, text, emojis, and freehand sketches. I mean, it is awesome.
Well, that's not going to save you money, is it?
Well, actually, it will. Up to 40% off brands like Adidas, Nike, ASOS. Save as you spend, Thogdad. It's brilliant.
Are you being serious? You're just a mug.
I'm being straight up. And actually, whilst we're in Montenegro, we're currently on holiday, I spend on there. Great exchange rates, no hidden fees. Honestly, Dad, I'm spending like a local. You can also make and receive instant free payments to other Revolut accounts across Europe, the UK, US, Singapore, Japan, and Australia.
Wow, the new generation sometimes gets things right. Why do I sign up for this?
Very simple. First link in description, Thogdad. And when you do, order your card, 3 transactions, and you can get a free 20 quid welcome bonus.
20 quid for free? I have to pay it back or what?
No, you get it. It's a gift from Revolut. Everyone can get it. Get down in description now.
Right, where is my phone? I'm going off to get it.
Get out of here, you mug. Don't be a mug like Thogdad. Go download it now, and you can even book your incredible holiday across the globe at exclusive rates with no booking fees, up to 10% cashback too. Bash.
Aston Villa now, and it's got to be Emiliano Buendia, Theo.
What?
I've been impressed by him for 2 or 3 years. His stats at Norwich back in the day were excellent. Last season he got 4 goals and 6 assists, but I expect him to get more starting 11 berths and more contributions.
You copied my notes, you mug. I've also gone for Emi Buendia.
I mean, he's a special player, isn't he?
Yeah, he is a special player, but I never thought you'd put him on the level of Player of the Season.
I've always liked him, Theo. He cost about 30 million. I think that'll be money well spent.
I realised at the end of the season, when Gerrard started to give him game time, he impressed. This depends on whether he gets a full year of football. If he does, I think we're going to be right on this. Player of the Year, Emi Buendia. He's got a lot of potential in this Villa team.
Now, a lot of people will have gone for Philippe Coutinho. He's a player who cost over 100 million quid back in the day.
It's the boring option. It's the obvious. It's the no-brainer, as Neville would say.
Bournemouth now, and it's got to be Philip Billing, Theo. He is a Danish international central midfielder. Last season, 10 goals and 10 assists from central midfield. Now, this season, obviously, he's up against some of the best players in the year. Can he make the grade?
I like your option, but we've seen Belling in the Premier League before, and he's nothing incredible. I
but
think
he's a little bit older now, Theo.
I'm going with a youngster, Jadon Anthony. Now, he's a Hale-End prospect, and believe in me, if you haven't heard of the name, this season in the Prem, he's going to score some really good solo efforts and create for the Cherries to potentially keep them up. If they get relegated, someone in the Premier League will pick him up.
Brentford now, and I'm assuming he's going to stay, Theo. Christian Eriksen, the attacking midfielder. Last season, 11 appearances, 1 goal, 4 assists, but his impact was transformational. I think without Christian Eriksen, Brentford could have gone down. Now, let's not forget, prior to that horrific heart attack at the Euros, Theo, Christian Eriksen was worth about 90 million quid, and he's playing for Brentford.
I'm going to tell you this right now, in 5 days' time, that geezer is never playing for Brentford again.
But that's sad. Isn't he buying a house in West London?
Look, unless you're in the know with the owner because he's your mate, that's all I'm going to say, and you've not told me, I think he'll be off in about 5 days' time. For me, Brentford, Vitaly Janelt. Now the German 23-year-old, I believe, plays in that midfield three on the left side, and I've been really impressed by what he's done. Occasional with a little brace in the game, contributing, but also non-stop running, and just great hard work for that Brentford 11.
Brighton and Hove Albion, it has to be once again Moses Caicedo, and I love talking about this lad, Theo. 20 years old, he's played 23 times for Ecuador. Now he's going to have to step up because Yves Bissouma's gone, hasn't he? Which is a bit of a shame.
A new generation for Graham Potter. Hence why you've gone for a youngster, and my Brighton pick is a new signing in Dennis Undav.
Yes.
Now the 26-year-old German scored 38 contributions last season in the Belgian league. If he can score goals and he has a good season, he will be Player of the Year.
Theo, you've gone for a couple of Germans. You really think they can put their towels on the sunbed and win those Player of the Season awards?
Well, usually it's the Englishman who gets to the sunbed first. Tell us in the comments, at the hotel you're going to this summer, who gets there first, the English family or the German? So we're getting off track here.
We are, yeah. Chelsea now. I'm going to be boring again. For me, he was Player of the Season last season. 11 goals, 10 assists. Mason Mount. One of my favourite players, Theo. I know a lot of England fans are a little bit sceptical, but I want to see him cement his place in the England 11.
I'm going to ask the TDL on this one. Is Mason Mount a real game changer? He's no Thierry Henry. His overall statistics in the Premier League in all seasons is 24 goals and 20 assists. Thierry Henry in the 02-03 year got 20 goals and 24 assists. So they got the same amount of contributions, but the difference is Mount had all his lifetime career in the Premier League, and Thierry Henry had one season.
Theo, you cannot compare everyone to Thierry Henry because he was a one-off special player playing in a very different team.
Some people are saying the best ever player in the Prem, but for Chelsea, I've gone for Reece James.
Okay.
Because I think under Tuchel, getting a full year, owning that right wing-back role, destined for the top, he's got bags of potential. And even against Italy and England, if it wasn't for Raza missing a sitter, and he could be his Chelsea teammate soon. Oh, maybe maybe it'll be Raheem Sterling.
Oh my goodness.
I think Reece James is going to continue to grow, cement his place in the England team. Watch out.
Crystal Palace now. I've gone for a young centre-back called Mark Guehi, Theo. Now, last season he was the Players' Player of the Year. Obviously, Conor Gallagher was the Fans' Player of the Year, I believe. A special player, Theo. Played almost every game in the Premier League. Broke into the England team. Player of the Season this season.
I think you're going to be correct on that one. I had a feeling you might pick Michael Elise. I agree with you on Mark Guehi.
Okay.
His improvement over last season and what people expected of him and Joachim Andersen at the back and what resulted was incredible. You know, to hold down a 13th place position, if they can do that or more next season, it shows how outstanding Patrick Vieira is currently doing.
Everton, I'm going for a lad who only had 6 contributions last season, 4 goals and 2 assists. But watching him play, Theo, at times he was the only guy who really cared in that Everton team. I'm talking about Anthony Gordon.
Okay. Yeah, good pick. He needs to get his shooting together to resemble the best player in an Everton shirt.
He's 21 years old, Theo. 6 contributions last season. I'm
thinking,
no longer young. 21,
he's no longer a kid.
He's your age. You're a kid.
Yeah, you can no longer treat him like a wonder kid. He wasn't even in our video because he was too old. If he wants to be a regular look, we can all be nice and say Anthony Gordon's going to be amazing, and I think he will, but he needs to get his shooting together.
Theo, he was one of the best players on the pitch so many times for Everton last season. This
I
season,
know he cares.
I think 12 to 15 contributions. It's an upward trajectory for that lad.
He needs more. He needs to be on Saka's level, and I think he can. And especially with the addition of DCL being back fit for a full season, I think that's a game changer. He's my pick for best player.
DCL.
He won it 2 years ago because when he's fully fit, he can score 20 goals in a season.
Fulham now, and it's got to be a right winger called Harry Wilson. 10 goals, 20 assists last season, which is incredible in the Championship. Now, he's an established Welsh international, Theo. Ex-Liverpool, cost 13 million quid. And I reckon he's got something to prove in the Premier League.
And so does Alexander Mitrovic. And that's my pick for best player of the season for Fulham. His scoring record at the moment for Serbia and Fulham in the Championship, it broke records. I don't need to repeat what those statistics are. He won't get that in the Premier League, but I think he'll be the best player in the team.
This man is linked with Barcelona, with Arsenal, with Spurs. We're talking about Leeds United's Rafinha, Theo. I'm assuming he's going to stay, and if he does, he's bound to be player of the season. Last season, he was good in a really poor Leeds team. 11 goals, 3 assists. The man is something special.
That man will not be living in Yorkshire in a month.
Who have you gone for?
Calvin Phillips.
Okay, fair
And
enough.
I think he will be living in Yorkshire next month. Another year there, especially with their striker back. We all know the name. I've almost forgot the name of their striker. It's been that long.
I know, Patrick Bamford, I think you're talking about. We've almost forgotten him, but couldn't he come back and score 15 goals?
Well, I think when they have a fully fit team, Calvin Phillips works. I just want to see him smash it for England, really. I thought he was excellent next to Declan Rice in Euros, but we've not really seen the form of that since then. But he will have a great 22-23 season.
And I thought about saying Jack Harrison, Theo, because that last game of the season
call.
against Brentford, he was pacey. In that second half, he was dangerous.
I think a lot of Leeds fans will be commenting, saying he'll be the best player next season.
Leicester now, and this man used to play for Coventry City and he used to play for Norwich. He's only ever had one England cap. Gareth Southgate, what are you doing? James Maddison, again, one of my favourite, most exciting, creative players in the Premiership. 12 goals, 8 assists last season. He's bound to be player of the season.
And his teammate in the midfield is my pick, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, because their contributions have been incredible for Leicester this season. It's helped them retain a top 10 finish, which at one point wasn't looking likely because of their distractions with the Conference League. But a year without European football means James Maddison can excel in the biggest league in the world, and I think Dewsbury-Hall, gaining that 1 year older, he's got that experience, maturity to break through into the England team. Gareth, get on the line for November.
Liverpool now, and this man was imported legally from Colombia and he absolutely smashed it in the Premier League last season. 4 goals, 3 assists in I think 13 games, and immediately, Theo, as soon as he came from Porto, he looked like a Liverpool player.
Yeah,
absolute calibre.
He's brilliant, but was he as good as Luis Diaz in that Champions League final? I was at the match and he was a
Theo, I'm talking about Luis Diaz.
Man running down the right. His name is Kanate and he's dynamite.
Oh,
wow.
You're going for Kanate?
That was in the moment. I went for Kanate.
Wow.
I saw real potential from that UCL final. There's no bigger game in football. So next year, regular Premier League centre-back with Virgil. I expect that.
Theo, how's it going to work without Sadio Mane in that team? Should we expect Liverpool to hit the ground running?
I know he's the best player in the world, Dad, but listen, he'll do well at Bayern. But with Darwin Núñez, Salah and Luis Diaz, they'll be fine. They've got a great front three. Liverpool can go for the Premier League once again.
Manchester City, and I'm going to go to left field once again because last season was disappointing. He cost 100 million quid plus, only got 3 goals and 3 assists, but Jack Grealish remains an excellent player, Theo, and he wants to cement his place once again in Gareth Southgate's starting 11. So I think Grealish is going to kick on.
No.
He's going to get 15 to 20 goal contributions.
He can't play his normal game because Pep restricts him. It's the way City play. He will never break the stats he got at Villa. But if we're talking a whole good old year in the Premier League, consistency, it's got to be Rodri. Tell me about a holding midfielder in the world right now.
Wow,
Agreed.
Have you gone for him, player of the season?
I have, player of the season.
Wow.
There's not a more 8 out of 10 every week than Rodri.
Let us know what you think in the comments, because most people will be going Haaland, De Bruyne.
I think it's boring. It's the underrated players like Bernardo Silva, Rodri, and I don't know, even a cheeky Zinchenski. I don't know, he's probably leaving, but he put in a shift last year.
Manchester United, and I've chosen another player who cost a lot of money, 76 million, and didn't really perform last season until late on. Jadon Sancho, once again, 3 goals, 3 assists. But again, Theo, I believe in him. He's a great player, and he will bounce back this season.
I'll be very impressed with Jadon if he can become player of the season like he did at Dortmund, where he got a ridiculous amount of statistics, goals, assists in the season. I've gone for a player who people love to hate on, but I'm going to defend him. Harry Maguire is my 22-23 player of the season.
Excuse me. Can I just look around the room for Jeremy Beadle?
He's not about, and this is a serious point I'm about to make.
It's not.
Everyone's hating on him.
I'm going to look at your notes.
Everyone's laughing at him because of his price tag. Harry Maguire
He's written down Harry
is going
Maguire.
to prove everybody wrong in this coming season. And everyone will laugh at me now for saying this. Just give it a year. And I'll sit back here when I'm correct and Ten Hag has transitioned him into one of the best. I don't think he'll have a game where he's incredible. He'll just be more consistent. I believe in him. I'm backing him.
Wait, what is that sound, Theo? It's the sound of 1 million people clipping you, putting you all over social media. That guy's jokes and all of that.
They'll probably laugh at us, but they won't be in a year.
No, they'll laugh at you. I didn't say Harry Maguire, I said Jadon Sancho.
Laugh at me all you want right now, but it's a big call. I'm backing it. It definitely won't be Ronaldo.
Newcastle United now, and it's time to talk about a defensive midfielder called Bruno Guimaraes, Theo. He came in after half of the season, and he's an absolute rock, isn't he? Absolutely. Either central midfield or DM. I think he got 5 goals and 1 assist. He's going to double that or more this season. He's a quality footballer.
And I also agree with you. He's my pick. The fact he's got pre-season to completely understand the tactics, and he becomes a regular 90-minute man for the Geordies, he will just be a level above. They paid good money for him. They outbid world-class talent, and we will see that on the pitch every week for Newcastle?
Nottingham Forest, and it has to be Brennan Johnson, Theo. This is a lad who's come through the Forest youth system. He's a Welsh international, and last season his stats in the Championship, 16 goals, 9 assists, and you watch Forest on the telly box and he is just quality.
I'll be honest, if they get Joe Garner back, he would have been my pick, but the loan move hasn't yet been confirmed. Forest fans, let me know. So this Forest pick is agreeing with you with Brennan Johnson. He was very exciting in the Championship, looking good for Wales internationally.
And I love his hair too. Southampton now, and I'm going for an England international. He used to play for Spurs, Kyle Walker Peters, Theo. Now, last season Southampton weren't very good as a whole, but he was a bit of quality when he was in the team. I think this season he can be better, he can get more contributions, he can do more going forward.
What's it like being wrong? James Ward-Prowse. There's no other answer, and I'm not even taking any other offers.
Yeah, I just want it to be different. I mean, we are the James Ward-Prowse fan club, and I just wanted to say someone else, to be quite honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I kind of agree with you. I mean, he's just the man who shows up week in, week out.
Yeah, and the only reason he won't be Player of the Year is if he leaves in January.
Tottenham Hotspur now, and time to talk about one of the best players in the world. He's been delivering consistently goals and assists for the last 8 years for Tottenham Hotspur. We're talking about Harry Kane. 17 goals last season. He's going to get more this season. He's just brilliant, Theo. He can drop deep, he can create, he can score goals. He's captain, leader, legend.
Out of the last 4 years at Tottenham, who's won Player of the Year? Tell me how many for Kane, how many for Son?
Go on, I'm going to say Son 3 and Kane 1. Just guessing.
You know that?
I'm genuinely guessing.
I would have guessed like 2-2 or Kane 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's correct. And that is why I'm going to back you with Harry Kane.
Ooh.
And make it 3-2 in the last 5 years. Perisic down the right. Down the left, you've got Reguilon. Son connecting, Bissouma defending. By the way, they might get second or third in the Premier League. They're a very good team. I believe Kane can shine and get that 20-goal barrier that he wants to break.
West Ham United, it's a defensive midfielder called Declan Rice. And if I have to explain, then you don't understand football. He's a man who's just getting better and better every single year.
Yep. For
West Ham, for England. He's an automatic pick in the England 11, isn't he now?
My player who's going to be the best next season at West Ham is the centre-back, Kurt Zouma.
You are pranking me again.
No, I'm not pranking
Where
you.
is Jeremy Beadle, honestly?
I'm kind of doing this because it's going to annoy Thogdad. He's not mad keen on him after certain videos, but he's a good footballer. And he thrived under the pressure. He did not let that handle him. He made no mistakes, and he's been a rock at the back for the Hammers. I will say that. And I think next season, he's going to be Player of the Year.
Wolverhampton Wanderers, I've gone with a Portuguese lad, which doesn't really narrow it down. He might be on his way to Barcelona with Rafinha, Ruben Neves. 4 goals, 2 assists last season. But that man, oh my goodness, the calibre of that man, he should go to Barcelona.
I didn't know about the links to Barcelona.
Yes.
But I've gone for a player. He's got Defence League, apparently. It's Pedro Neto. I think a fully fit season at Wolves, that will be the answer to their goal contributions problem. Him and Fabio Silva up top are going to create a crazy link up. They're going to bring the best out of Raul Jimenez again. And Wolverhampton, they're going to be back.
Theo, do you have a Defence League?
The TDL. And that is a good example of why you should subscribe to us.
The Thogdad Defence League.
15,000 likes. And apart from that, I'm going to drink this brew. I'm going to get out of here. See you all in a bit.
See ya.
Bye-bye.